Okay, we're going to call the October 8th council meeting to order and start with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moment of silence to remember the service and sacrifices of the armed service members who protect our nations and the first responders who protect our neighborhoods. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Freelander? Councilwoman Noon?
Here.
Councilman Brooks?
Here.
Councilman Sackett?
Here.
Councilwoman Brooks?
Here.
Councilman Quinn?
Here.
Councilman Wojtovich?
Here.
Council Vice President Salberg?
Here.
Council President Morrison?
Here. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided to the Daily Record and the Star Ledger, the official newspapers for the Township of Rockaway. Notice was posted on the official bulletin boards of Rockaway Township, the Township website, and notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk. I hear the big man over there, so let's turn it over to Mayor Jackson. We'll get you out of here soon, bud.
He's not staying for the consent agenda?
No.
Chief, got anything you want to say?
Sure, I'd like to welcome everybody this evening. As a chief, it's quite an honor to be able to celebrate with an officer that you've served many years with and their family in this milestone. So at this time, I would like to congratulate Officer Tom Campbell and his promotion to the rank of sergeant. Congratulations.
You can hold it. Yep. Ready?
I, Thomas Campbell, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of Rockaway Township Police Sergeant, and that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey. And I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people. So help me God. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Great.
Thanks. Congratulations. Take pictures, yeah.
Okay, moving on to approval of the minutes, September 24th Township Council regular meeting minutes. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Noon?
Yes.
Councilman Brooks?
Yes.
Councilman Sackett?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks?
Abstain.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Councilman Wojtovich?
Yes.
Council Vice President Salberg?
Yes.
Council President Morrison?
Yes, that's 7 yeses, 1 abstention. Motion passes. Okay, we are going to move on to the open to the public portion. As a reminder, I will call your name. You'll step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. There is a 3-minute time limit, and I will remind everybody that this is addressing the council as a whole. We are not to address any members of the council separately. Ms. Degnan.
Hi, so I need this thing.
Take your time.
Pat Degnan, 88 Valley View Drive. I was reviewing the agenda earlier this afternoon, and I noticed there are 4 resolutions R24-173, R24-174, and R24-175, and R24-176. They all are saying that the attorney is going to sign off on a tax appeal. Each one of them is over $1 million. That's $4 million that are coming out of our tax dollars to repay these companies. Is there any way we can, well, I know we don't recoup anything from the Board of Education, which is 63% of our tax dollar. Is there any way that when we're doing the taxes on these entities, that we can get them closer to what, so they won't be filing tax appeals on a regular basis?
I don't want to take away from your time, so I'll give you extra time. It's not 4 million. So just so you know, when you're done, I'm going to ask Ms. Yachafano to speak and Ms. Palmieri to give the actual numbers.
Okay, because
It's
the
not
way,
4.
the way that they're written, it seems to be $4
Yeah,
million.
no, I'll put your mind at ease right now. It's not that. Whenever you're done, you still have plenty of time. I'm going to ask them to speak.
Okay. Now, the other thing is, Resolution R24-169 is to grant a cannabis retailer at 16 Green Pond Road. Is the council aware that right across the street from this is a daycare center? I mean, it doesn't seem like it should be there, and there may be other places, not that I'm really for that kind of a program anyway, but if we have to allow it, why does it have to be across the street from a daycare center?
Ms. Yachafano, can you speak to the tax appeal, and then Ms. Palmieri, if you have the figures?
Certainly, Council President. All of these tax appeals have been pending for some time, and these matters have actually been in tax court as opposed to the Morris County Board of Taxation. The tax appeals for commercial properties, which all of these are not determined on the same base as the residential tax appeals or residential taxation that we're all more familiar with. When you're talking about a residential assessment, you're talking about the determined value of the land and the buildings on that property, okay? When you're talking about commercial assessments, the assessment parameters are different. You are talking about the value of any land and buildings, but more importantly, you're talking about the income that is generated as a result of the operation of that commercial enterprise. All of these properties, like many, many commercial enterprises, particularly retail enterprises, and that's what we're talking about here, were very seriously impacted by the COVID pandemic. As a result, the component of their tax assessments, which that results from their generation of income, were severely reduced. Just so you know, we had 2 sets of experts working on this. This is not something that the town attorneys were involved with, except by way of supervision and ultimately agreeing or non-agreeing with the process. So in the case of all these tax appeals, we had an attorney who's an expert on tax appeals, particularly commercial tax appeals, handling and reviewing the cases for us. And we had a gentleman named Lou Eisenberg, who is probably one of the finest commercial appraisers I've ever seen, with probably close to 50 years of experience, who determined the assessment, determined what an assessment should be by way of reduction based upon the difference or the lowering of the assessed value of the properties, chiefly due to the income component. Also, these are all mall properties, and when you're talking about the mall nationwide, the value of mall properties has been reduced significantly because in addition to whatever problems the pandemic caused, the competition of these mall sites nationwide as compared to entities like Amazon and various catalog ordering and things of this nature. These malls are just not functioning the way they used to, and also around the country, they're being repurposed to just not be, large collections of retail outlets. We've carefully reviewed these proposed settlements. Just as a side note, unfortunately, under the law, even though the Board of Education is responsible for 63% of your tax bill, they don't collect the taxes, and the people that collect the taxes, namely the township, is responsible for any refunds, assessment reductions, etc. We're not happy about it, but it is legitimate. It's been approved by our experts, and also it has a value going forward because, number one, the filing of a tax appeal based upon these reduced assessments and the refunds that result kind of deprives them of the ability to do this repeatedly, okay? And it ultimately saves the township also a lot of money because these cases are very, very expensive to defend against. We spent lots of money in trying to get where we are, and that's the best explanation I can give you.
And Ms. Palmieri, the dollars?
Yeah, so I just also wanted to add that in all four properties, tax years 20, 21, and 22 have all been withdrawn. So, that was a good, settlement on their part. But the actual payout is just over $328,000. Our reserves are more than adequate to cover that payout, so it won't have a tax impact on the taxpayers today.
So this won't cost the taxpayers anything?
No, not for these settlements. Moving forward, yes, of course, the values have been reduced moving forward, but the payout today is, like I said, just over
Reserves.
$328,000.
And just the other thing you mentioned, a Little Learner actually moved up to 41 Green Pond Road, so it's not across the street from the dispensary.
Okay, I don't know who else, there's another person signed this, I can't read. Just as a reminder, Mr. Kelly, we're not addressing individuals up here.
Tucker Kelly, 16 Megan's Road. Tonight, I was going to address the same that Mrs. Degman had reached out on, the Resolution 173, 174, 175, 176. As many of you are aware, I'm a taxpayer. I lived in Rockaway Township for 54 years, and I think I pay just as much property taxes than all of you collectively together. Mr. Witovic has a reduction because he's farm assessed. Mrs. Noon, you don't pay taxes in Rockaway. But with that being said, this council also receives a salary, anywhere between $8,000 to $12,000 as council members and $15,000 as the mayor. Mr. Quinn gets a $42,000 benefit package paid by the taxpayers.
Again, we're not talking about individuals up here. If you have a point to make your point.
Mr. Quinn pays or receives $42,000 in a tax benefit. Taxpayers pay for it. And roughly, you guys do about 40 hours of council meetings a year, depending on how many you cancel, which you do a lot. So with that being said, any increase that we have on taxes, you guys are somewhat compensated for almost half your tax bill, or maybe 30 to 40% of your rent bill that you have. So here we have the mall. I disagree with Mr. Yatrafano, because this is a common thing with the mall. We had one back in 2011, I believe, Mrs. Palmieri. That was, what, a $3 million appeal that we had? And moving forward throughout this council and through the mayor, you guys said about the mall thriving. The mall is doing wonderful. We have a circus in the parking lot. We have a Jurassic Park theme that's going on in the parking lot. And the reason is that there's a lot of parking spaces because there's no foot traffic in the mall. So you give the appearance on the outside that it's doing well and thriving, but in the inside it's bleeding. So with this being said, because you have on the 6 whereas in each one of those resolutions, you have on there of the Excel that's going to be there to let us know how much money this is, but it wasn't included to inform the public on that. For one, that's a problem. 2, moving forward, what is the actual reduction moving forward of how much taxes that we're going to lose on the assessment value, and how are we going to reclaim that assessment value going forward? The Hilton Garden, we lost a lot of money. We gave them also a $500,000 tax assessment reduction a few years back as well, speaking with our assessor. So what do you guys have planned moving forward? I mean, the mall has lost its security, it's lost its substation there. The prior chief that just resigned or retired ruined the contract for security that we had at the time. We were thriving at $750,000 from the mall, only to get a little over $100,000 now. No incentives of cars or police armor or ammunition or weapons or anything like that at all. So you're here tonight to vote on these four resolutions. You had to read them, you have to know the numbers. I think it's very easy questions. How are you going to compensate for this moving forward?
Are you done with your time?
I just figured I would get the same courtesy as Mrs. Degman did with an answer, just like Mr. Yachafano provided.
Okay, well, there's also a difference between actual numbers of things that happen and your request for information about future plans.
Mrs.
So
Palmer,
that is the
you
end.
know the
Hang on,
reduction
Mr.
of
Kelly?
assessment?
Mr. Kelly, you're at the end of your time. I'm going to ask you to sit down.
Are you going to answer how much of a reduction is?
This is your second warning that you're done with your time. Please sit down. Okay, moving on. Mr. Yachafano, can you speak to the other item that we're talking about?
Public defender.
Yes, public defender.
For the council, we received a request from the court, from Judge Smith and our court administrator, Richard Bolino, to appoint an alternate public defender. The appointment to run effective today through the end of the calendar year. As I'm sure you know, all of these appointments are annual appointments. It was made on the recommendation of the court. As I told you, council has been provided with a resume of the alternate public defender, namely Douglas Sklar, S-C-L-A-R. I reviewed the resume that was provided to us today. Judge Smith tells us that it's important that we have an alternate public defender. So the council knows, first of all, the public defender is paid by voucher based upon when the public defender works. So having a public defender and an alternate public defender is not going to work out costing the township any more money. The court just wants the convenience and assistance of an additional public defender to assist in moving the court schedule along and disposing of matters. So relying on the recommendation of Judge Smith and the court administrator and the individual who has been selected, whose resume I've reviewed, I would urge the council to approve this appointment.
Is there any council questions on this? Okay, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Douglas Sklar as an alternate public defender for a period ending at the end of this year.
And I'll second that.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Noon?
Yes.
Councilman Brooks?
Yes.
Councilman Sackett?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Councilman Wojtovich?
Yes.
Council Vice President Selberg?
Yes.
And Council President Morrison?
Yes, that's 8 yeses, motion passes. Consent agenda, R24-165 through and including R24-179. 160, which one? I have 165.
At 165.
It's on my sheet.
164.
What do you want?
Oh, either way. I'm on the old one here.
Okay.
The rest I'm
All right, R24-165 through and including R24-179. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Noon?
Yes.
Councilman Brooks?
Yes.
Councilman Sackett?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks?
Yes.
Councilman Quinn?
Yes.
Councilman Wojtovich?
Yes.
Council Vice President Selberg?
Yes.
Council President Morrison?
Yes, that's 8 yeses, motion passes. Appointments. Ms. Yesterfano, do we have to do a official appointment for Thomas Cowell?
No.
No, okay. Andrew Kraus, Fire Company 1, full membership. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Noon?
Hang on.
You need closed session.
There's people who want to speak. I don't think you asked if there were people that didn't sign in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, we're going to go back to open to public. That's my fault.
Good evening, everybody. My name is John Oakes. I'm the president of Rockaway Township Soccer Association. My purpose here tonight is to just convey the importance of our program in the town. I know this is in light to losing our main soccer field in a pending sale. I don't want to really get into that. I just want to convey to you the importance of the program that I'm in charge of. I also have our registrars here, our travel director, and our vice president. Just want to give you some background. I'm the president. I've been the president my second year. Before that, I started in 2015 as a coach. I think I coached some of your kids up here. Coached 14 rec teams. I was a parent manager for travel for a year and a half. So they said they were going to dissolve our TSA and they were going to have it taken over by a club. Kind of a scare tactic, but it got me in. In this very room, actually, I became president. So I truly believe in a parent-run organization. I have a strong commitment to that. I grew up in a family where my father was my coach for 9 years, and it was just, he passed away the week before he died. That's what we were talking about. So I just believe strongly that we need to support that as a town. So for those of you who don't know, RTSA was founded in 1973, a year younger than me. So we have 3 different divisions. We have rec, which is 4 years old to 8 years old. We have travel, which is 7 to 14. And then we have RVSL, which is kind of a rec, but it's travel. We play a bunch of towns around here. That's ages 9 to essentially seniors in high school. This fall, we have 609 kids in all those programs. So 609 kids. We have 13 parent volunteers. These are executives. These are business owners. These are school teachers. I myself work in pharma marketing. I also have a band. So we're all very committed. This is why we're doing it. We're doing it to keep this program alive. We also have a very active boosters program, and we also have our coaches, parent coaches. We have trainers too, but we also have parent coaches, which I think is very important. The whole reason why, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there's this whole club versus town programs. A club can come into Rockaway, take over a program, then it's $4,000 a year, and then you have kids from Denville, Morristown, Montville competing for our kids' spots. So like I said, my objective here tonight is to talk about how we feel we need a soccer hub. Norway was our main field with lights. We can use portable lights, but the league can't use them for games. So that was our go-to field. There's no other sports there. And now I learned today the closing is actually December, but we're going to lose that resource. I grew up in Nutley in Essex County. I was in soccer from 2nd grade to 9th grade. We went to Owens Field. That was our field. Lights, everything. I became a referee. I worked for the town, Owens Field, until I was a sophomore in college. It was our home. It was our soccer home. So, like I said, I had a family history in that, which I believe a club is great. I have nothing against club soccer.
I'll give you some extra time.
I believe it gives, what we do is opportunities for all the kids. Our fee is $7.95. We just raised it for $7.75. Whereas you can have a club, which is $2,000, $3,000. So we're offering kids, maybe they wouldn't make club team, but they're still able to play competitive soccer. So I made my notes because I only have 3 minutes, but I'm over my 3 minutes. So what I'm just saying to you is when you're thinking about this, we've been talking to the mayor about N-Home and to Dave, talking about what we can do at N-Home. I understand Norway is Norway. It's kind of out of everyone's hands now, but to have a place where we can go, where we can do soccer, we are really strongly behind that. We have the low-cost option. The people that are moving into Norway are a club. They're a club team. I talked to the guy. So that's competing with us, and it can also kind of absorb our program, and then we don't have the opportunities. Like I said, we have kids from other Randolph, whatever, coming into Rockaway. Football has their hub, right? So football has their field. Our travel director asked the town, could we line, since we're losing Norway, we need lights, could we line Peterson for soccer too? The answer was no. So, right, so I get that. No, you don't want soccer lines on a football field. But, since I've been a coach, we were at A field, then we got kicked out of there. We're at Christ Church, who decides one season they're going to just tell us we can't play there, which they did last year. So we were going around here, Germania, we can't have goals anymore, we can't have lights in any of these fields. So my point here today is, as we're talking to the mayor, we're talking about what we can do at Enholm. For some chance Norway falls through, we just want you guys to consider that investing in the soccer program in Rockaway is very important, and all us volunteers are 100% behind that. So, thank you.
Thanks. Is there anybody else from the public that wishes to speak? Yeah, step up. And again, my apologies for not doing this earlier.
How are you, council members? My name is Rotul Patel. I'm at 617 Mount Hope Ave. It's my first time at a council meeting, but I'd like to read a statement I put together. I stand before you today not just as a concerned resident, but a frustrated member of this community that is being battered by relentless assault of thousands of dump trucks on Mount Hope Ave 24 hours a day. This is not merely an inconvenience, it's a public safety hazard and a quality of life issue that demands your immediate attention. Every single day, we endure deafening roar of these trucks speeding down our streets, engines blaring as they engage in reckless engine braking. The noise is unbearable, but it's not just the sound, it's the constant threat of our safety. How many more near misses do we need before something is done? We have children, families, elderly residents whose lives are being disrupted by dangerous activity. Moreover, the debris left by wake of these trucks creating hazardous condition on our roads, potholes, debris, loose gravel, not only damaging vehicles, but also poses serious risk to pedestrians. It's unacceptable that we have to navigate a minefield every time we step outside our home. Let's talk about the air we breathe, the pollution generated by these heavy-duty vehicles. It's suffocating our community. We deserve clean air, health environment, not to mention the long-term health risks that accompany these levels of pollution. How can we expect our children to thrive when their lungs are constantly exposed to toxic fumes? And also, where's the local police? The lack of patrolling on Mount Hope Ave is glaring. It's time for the law enforcement to step up and take action against this ongoing violation of our peace. We need enforcement of speed limit, noise regulation, and accountability for damage being caused. It's clear these thousands of dump trucks must stop using Mount Hope Ave 24/7, non-stop. We cannot allow Tilcon or any other company to operate with such disregard for our community well-being, and it's time for the council to stand and implement regulations and prioritize the safety, health of Rockaway residents. All right? This is just a plea, it's a demand. We will not stand idly by while our neighbor is compromised. We expect an immediate action. Thank you, because this is getting ridiculous.
So I will tell you, and I don't want to put Mr. Brooks on the spot. He is your councilman. He lives on Mount Hope, so I'm going to ask if it's okay after the meeting, not now. You guys can touch base. The council as a whole did go to Tilcon to visit specifically to address concerns. I'm going to ask the chief to talk about some of the remediation we've done with inspections. I know it wasn't Rockaway, it was the state police inspections at the mall. We pulled the trucks over. If you don't mind, just a couple minutes when we come to you. But when we're done, I'm going to ask you to hook up with Councilman Brooks.
Yeah,
he lives right there.
I'll be honest, I'm pretty new. I bought a house
Yep.
recently during the COVID time. I'm already thinking about leaving the city and you're going to lose out more. I'm going to take more neighbors with me if I have to, and you guys are going to lose out more tax money, and it's going to have a bad reputation on the town.
If you hang out after the meeting,
I'm here. I'm
happy to
talk
volunteer
somebody
Mr.
for a
Brooks'
while.
time. Is there anybody else from the public that wishes to speak? Okay. Ms. Crusoe, I believe we actually had a motion and a second on the consent agenda? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so we can go to the roll call for that. We didn't go through the roll call.
Andrew, we do.
What's that?
We're on the fire company.
Okay. Yes. Andrew Kraus Fire Company, one full membership. Okay, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Noon,
Yes.
Councilman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Sackett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Brooks,
Yes.
Councilman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Wojtovich,
Yes.
Council Vice President Salberg,
Yes.
Council President Markson.
Yes. That's 8 yeses, motion passes. Congratulations. Okay, we will move on to reports. As a reminder, I'm going to ask you to keep it to 5 minutes or less, and we will start with Councilwoman New.
I have no report this evening, thank you.
Councilwoman Brooks.
Just really quick, there's been a lot of talk and conversations. People have come to the council meetings. I've spoken to a few residents in terms of the referendum and information. On their website, they've started populating information on a tab called referendum. It's on the main page on the link. There's some information there, and hopefully more to come.
Councilman Quinn.
Thank you. Spending a lot of time at Peterson. Field is great. Everybody is having a good time. The sports are doing very well. I just want to wish that everybody say a prayer for all the people in Florida and North, South Carolina, and Georgia that have been affected by this storm and the next storm that's coming in. Hopefully, it's not going to destroy it, but there's suffering there, and we need to get as much prayer down in as we can. Other than that, everybody stay well, stay safe.
Councilman Sackett.
Thank you, Council President. I attended last night the October 7th Memorial at the Chabad Center. I know the mayor was there. Very moving event they had there last night. Also, I was hoping to have Councilman Friedlander here tonight. He did call me an hour before the meeting and I'm unable to attend. He's doing much better. Just still having some issues with his walking. So hopefully next meeting, fingers crossed. And just wishing all for the holiday of Yom Kippur this week coming up, an easy fast. Thank you.
Councilman Brooks.
No report this night.
Councilman Vitovich.
No report.
Council Vice President.
Thank you, Council President. Nothing on the Morris County Board of Commissioners side, but a few events coming up. Hibernia Library is having an open house October 21st. Really is a great event if anyone's been there before. They have a lot of great photographs and history of back when it was predominantly a mining area, and see the transformation of what it is today. Also, October 17th is going to be the Copeland Pumpkin Fest. You got to find that on Eventbrite. I guess there's tickets for it, but hopefully you can have an opportunity to see that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Yachafano.
Thank you, Council President. Only two matters. The first, just in case any member of the council is interested, there was previously a resolution on the council authorizing a place-to-place one-day liquor license transfer in connection with a event that's going on at the mall, I believe this Saturday, which is an empanada festival and car show. Mr. Dyer worked very hard on confirming a couple of things for him, but the resolution that was on the previous copy of the agenda was withdrawn because we've been informed, and Mr. Dyer advised me that the ABC has approved the transfer for one day and no resolution is required, so there was no need to have that matter kept on the agenda. The other matter I'd just like to address briefly with the council concerns the request that you might remember from a meeting or two ago where an attorney came in on behalf of three property owners on Polara Drive in connection with the request that the town accept the dedication of that, what amounts to an 1,100-foot private driveway as a town street. The council should also recall the report I made some months ago to the council about this particular request, which basically demonstrated after, fairly detailed engineering study by Allison Ferrante with the help of Al North, that basically said this is nothing more than a private driveway, a very long private driveway serving three houses that's in very bad shape, and did not recommend that the council or the town, because I think this should generate first from the administration, even consider dedication or acceptance of dedication of the property. The reason I addressed this with the council tonight is because yesterday a letter came in from the attorney, Mr. Heyman, who was here on behalf of the property owners, requesting that he get some feedback from the council and or the administration after the appearance in the public session that was made. So I just want to advise the council, the administration already has approved that I'm going to contact Mr. Heyman and tell him that the township is not in a position to consider dedication on this matter, and I'll be doing that tomorrow on behalf of both the administration and the council.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, couple things. Want to announce a new business in the area, Dermatology Institute and Laser Center, by Dr. Adriana Ross, located at 35 Green Pond Road in the corner of Sanders Road. Dr. Ross has been in practice for over 15 years as a dermatologist. She enjoys teaching physicians and students in her capacity as a program director of dermatology at Hackensack Meridian Palisades Hospital. Dermatology Institute also has offices in Clifton, North Bergen. The new Rockaway office will become the main location for Dr. Ross. Dr. Ross and her husband Chris live in Boonton, have 2 young children. Please visit them on our township Facebook page to find out more information about them. And they are having a ribbon cutting Thursday night Thursday, October 10th from 5 to 7. Again, 35 Green Pond Road. They'll have refreshments and door prizes if you'd like to attend. Also, as Councilman Sackett attended the Chabad event last night with Chief Scheer, Senator Bucco, and Sheriff Gannon were there also, and it was an incredible event. And I think the main message that Rabbi Herson tried to get across was the only way to combat darkness is with more light. So it was a very good message, and I thought he did a great job. I'd also like to announce on Sunday, Unico, Rockaway Township Unico had an event, the Dan Bell Citizenship Award, which is hosted annually in honor of Joe Bell's son Dan. And this year we honored Tunnel to Towers. If you don't know what that organization is, they provide houses to Gold Star family members and to members of family members who lost first responders, whether it be EMS, fire, police. And they also have a mission to make sure no veteran ever is homeless again. So they're, a great organization, do a lot of great work. And with the efforts of, all those involved, the organization is able to raise over $20,000 for Tunnel to Towers. So it was a really great event at the mansion, and it was attended by a lot of people. Senator Bucco was there, Sheriff Gannon, Assemblyman Barranco, Commissioner Shaw. So very good event and raised money for a great cause. And John, thanks for coming tonight. We've been in a lot of contact. We were just talking about it before the meeting. We're working with Norbu's attorney too, because we're trying to tighten up their contract and potential lease agreements. Real quick, not do it in public, but you did give them your schedule?
We did, yeah.
Okay, so they know when you need the field and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think we loosely gave them the schedule.
Okay. Let's talk after the meeting. I want to get the exact details so we can get them that, because we're in talks with them right now about all those things.
Right.
Okay.
And, how far out is this? Is this spring too?
Hmm?
Is this for the spring as well?
Well, we'll get everything. Yeah, so I talked to them inclusively about everything. Mm-hmm. And I'll give you an update on in-home too, so where we're at with that. So that's all I have.
Ms. Palmieri?
Yes, thank you. Just a reminder that the fourth quarter taxes are due November 1, but we have until November 12th to make payment without penalty. We held our tax sale. It closed at 8:30 this morning. We sold about 66 parcels consisting of $95,000 in charges for tax, water, and sewer. We also collected premiums of $289,000. I'm going to be getting budget packets out together for our department heads the middle of next week. I'll give them a 2-week turnaround to get them back to administration, and then we'll hold our budget meetings with the department heads and anyone from the public who wishes to attend. That'll probably be the week of November 19th, which is consistent with prior years. Thank you.
Ms. Ferrante?
Yes, thank you for the support of the resolution for the Richard Street roadway improvements. That's our next DOT municipal aid grant project. At this time of year, it would probably not start until springtime. It was nice, 8 to 9 bids on that, which drove the price down, so it's nice to see some competition. And if you haven't noticed, at 17 Old Middletown, we've demolished the old building that was there to make way for the new approximately 8,000 square foot municipal utilities building, make a more efficient use of our yard that's there. And lastly, on behalf of the staff, thank you, Mayor and Council, for the appreciation luncheon for the employees. That's it.
Chief?
Thank you, Mr. President. I also did get to attend the memorial service, and I do want to say the atrocity left me without words. And again, so 1139 lost, and again, humanity needs to do better. So, in the police department, we had the honor, Lieutenant Tanis and Lieutenant Takis were able to go over to Walmart and receive many donated toys. So we have quite a few toys available as we go through and see needy individuals through the holidays and other events at the police department as well as the township. So we do have some of those available. Detective Evelyn Brown is our community policing officer. So anybody with great ideas, please bring them forward to her. We'll be looking forward to Target and Walmart coming up in November, Shop with a Cop. So that's something exciting. We're going to reach out to some schools and get some needy families and be able to bring them in and shop in those sponsored by Target and Walmart. So that's kind of exciting to look forward to. Also on the 26th of this month, between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., we have the DEA-sponsored drug take-back, very much like the green box in our lobby, but we'll have that located in Walmart as well as the center of the Rockaway Town Square Mall. Some numbers for the month in September: arrests with a total number of charges of 13. Year-to-date, arrests with a total number of charges of 189 from the Rockaway Township officers. The tickets, 102 in August and 52 in September, so we have a department that's out there working hard for the public. In reference to some of the concern as Tilcon and trucks, we have had our deployment of traffic trailers out on Mount Hope Ave, as well as in other areas of concern, some of the hot lists that have been brought to our attention from the residents: Fleetwood Drive, White Meadow Road, and then we follow them up with enforcement details. So radar details have been happening, just to name a few: Struble Lane, Fleetwood Drive, and Mount Hope Ave, from our traffic division as well as other officers. So, again, please bring any of those concerns forward. We'll continue to stay on. We do have, at different times, we contact the state police. They come out with their commercial truck unit, and what they will do is they will bring the trucks off of the avenue into the mall area and have gone over the trucks coming out of that area. As far as also communicating with Tilcon where cleanup is necessary, so sometimes we have to send out a reminder to please come up and bring that street sweeper out and clean up from Tilcon all the way through Route 80. So again, we'll make that notification again.
Mr. Tabbitt?
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to mention a few upcoming events sponsored by the Division of Health. First, we have the semi-annual fall cleanup that's going to be happening October 26th from 9 to 11 a.m. The cleanup will be at Mount Hope Pond and Lake Ames, so anybody who wishes to sign up, members of the public, etc., can reach out to Cara Soleno in the Division of Health, or just call the Division of Health and we can connect you and register you. Another event, we have a two-night mental health workshop, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. each night of October 28th and 29th at the Rockaway Public Library. The first night is for adults and caregivers. The second night is for children and caregivers, especially crafted program for children, again at the library, October 28th and 29th. Also, we have our flu campaign coming up, and we'll have 2 clinics here in Rockaway Township in this room, November 7th and November 22nd. On November 7th from 4:30 to 6:30, on November 22nd from 4 to 6. Residents can call the Division of Health to register and encourage you to do so. Everyone should get a flu shot this year and every year. We also have 2 rabies clinics coming up, November 9th and December 7th, and I'd like to thank Al Noth and the Public Works Department for making the Public Works facility on Green Pond Road available like they do every year. November 9th and December 7th will both be 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Also did want to mention a special thank you to residents who participated in the community-wide Mayor's Walking Challenge. It's coming to an end after this weekend, so special thanks to the residents who participated again, and as well as Brittany Bernstein, and thanks to the mayor who not only participated but helped lead 2 special events, one in the south of town and one more toward the north in Telemark, and they were both very successful, and we've had over 100 participants in the Walking Challenge, so it seems to be pretty successful, so thank you.
Mr. Mayor, is your group still in the lead?
No, we're in 3rd place.
All right, you've got a week. You should walk home.
I have the top, but I got the ringer. I got the top step person on my team.
All right, just check.
It just shows.
Mr. Dyer?
No report tonight.
Mr. Heinzelman?
Yes, as many of you may be aware, this is Fire Prevention Week, October 6th, October 12th. This year's theme is smoke alarms, make them work for you. And the campaign's call to action is install, test, and replace. With that said, November 3rd is daylight savings time change. So please, please make sure when you change your clocks, if you still have the old-fashioned smoke detectors with batteries, put new batteries in them, or even better, go get the 10-year sealed lithium-ion powered smoke detectors and install them in your home so your families are safe. And then next weekend is the fire department's inspection. So they're all working very hard tonight, this week, getting their fire trucks and fire homes ready for your visit. And we look forward to entertaining you all. Thank you.
Mr. Coward?
No report.
Okay, make a motion to adjourn by consensus. All in favor?
Aye.
October 22nd is our next meeting. Thank you, everybody.